So what is a Chiron return? How do you work with your Chiron return? So we all carry natal Chiron in our chart. And just like we have a Saturn return, we have a Chiron return that hits around age 50 or 51. And really, a lot of times I'm finding the Chiron return is much more difficult to navigate than the Saturn returns are, the second Saturn return especially, that hits in our late 50s. And so Chiron, what is Chiron? How do we work with this? So Chiron is the wounded healer in our charts. And wherever Chiron is, by the sign that it's in or the house that it's in, is where we need to heal our wounds. And so, for example, let's say you have Chiron in Aries or Chiron in the first house. Well, you need to work on healing your own wounds and digging deep and uncovering where you feel wounded, what is preventing you from thriving in the world. What wounds are you carrying that you haven't addressed? What wounds keep popping up for you? And when you have your Chiron return, it's a double whammy of that energy right on top of you. And you are forced, really, to look at your wounding. And no, I'm not kidding. And you may think you've handled your wounds, out of sight, out of mind, but when you have a Chiron return, it seems they come home to roost for a little bit. And Chiron returns usually last from 1 to 2 years. Everybody will have a Chiron return from age 50 or age 51, and sometimes you may feel it even sooner. Now, Chiron represents our wounding, and wounding is very intense sometimes. Wounding can be very emotional. Wounding is not always fun. And some of us can deal with wounds better than others. It's the same way as when you hurt yourself, you fall on your knee, or you hurt your foot or something. You're wounded, but some people, they're off for a couple of months until it heals, or some people are walking right back on their foot or dealing with their wounds. Everybody handles it differently. In the same way, with a Chiron return, everybody's going to handle the wounding differently. The key is to look at what house and sign you feel wounded in and work with that energy to heal it so it doesn't keep haunting you. And so during your Chiron return, you could find, yes, you're crying more. Yes, you're more emotional. Yes, you're dealing with a wound that you didn't know you had, that has surfaced. You're healing a wound. Maybe there was a rift with somebody in your family, or a lover, or a child, and the rift is getting healed. But at first, it's painful to deal with it, to look at your part in it, perhaps. Now, everybody will handle Chiron returns differently. And I know you're probably going, Jill, you already said that. So I don't want to keep going on and on here, but I just want to say everybody will have a Chiron return. So know what sign and house you have Chiron in so that you know where to handle and focus and work on the wounds of Chiron in your chart. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.